Azeroth. Broadcasting live from the trade district of Stormwind.
Hey, who rerouted arcane relay through the coffee pot again?
Coffee's done.
Hang on. I think we got it.
This is Azeroth Morning Radio. Warcraft for the rest of us.
And good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome. This is Azeroth Morning Radio.
Greetings, man.
It's episode 4, and here it is Warcraft for the rest of us. So the 9 to 5ers, those of us who are parents, you have 30 minutes to play, whatever it is, but you definitely love Azeroth. We are your hosts. My name is Jibbs, and I'm joined by the two-time champion, 2023 and 2024, Nomergan long jump, my good friend Kash.
Greetings, man. I don't know if it would work for me to even be able to enter the Nomergan long jump competition.
Hey, spoiler, it wouldn't work. You'd crush the little ankle biters.
Can you imagine watching gnomes trying to do a long jump?
Could you imagine me trying to do a long jump against gnomes? Like, I'm out of the competition, dude.
You would.
Because I'm 6'3", and a gnome is an ankle biter to me.
You'd soar over the board, land on another gnome, foot in the face.
Sorry about that. My bad.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
Oh, buddy. My goodness. What have you been doing in game this week?
Ignoring my main.
How you feeling on week 2 of this?
I actually feel really good. I've had a good amount of time to play this week, and I have really gotten into Legion Remix a bunch. I'm hitting all the rewards. I haven't been doing much purchasing of things. I'm just kind of letting it accumulate, letting all that bronze accumulate. And I checked today, and I had like 520,000 bronze sitting in my bank. And so I finally started spending today. I bought all the class mounts and just started kind of bird dogging some of the transmogs that I wanted. There's a bunch of them. I ended up buying that Spriggan. I bought that Spriggan. It's like 100,000 bronze.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, I ended up buying it.
Nice.
And I was bummed because it's like gnome size. It's super tiny when you look at it in the little paper doll thing where you can preview
the
things.
Journal? Yeah.
It looks big.
Right.
It looks like it's tall. And then I summon the thing, and it's like, looks like it got hit by the was that the Gnome Reducer 5000?
Oh, the
commercial.
The Gnome Enlarger 5000.
Gnome Enlarger, yeah. It definitely was not enlarged. It got reverse Gnome Enlarged, so it's tiny, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and then just a bunch of transmogs. I got the first big piece of fell armor.
Ooh.
The first big set.
Yeah.
I finished that up last night, and that set is to die for. It's gorgeous.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm starting to see some people. It seems to be like a slow filter, and maybe people just aren't using it. I know there's been plenty of people that have hit 80 for quite some time already. So I'm imagining that they're just not using it, but you're starting to see more and more people using that set. It's beautiful, man. Yeah,
and that's one thing about Legion Remix is that transmogs are free. So you can transmog at any time, and there's usually transmogs all over the place because the gear changes out so quickly in Remix that everybody, for the most part, unless you're actively transmogging like every 10 minutes, everybody's walking around looking like a circus clown, which is all this different mismatched armor and stuff on.
Yeah.
I got to the point to where I kind of don't care. Every once in a while, like when I go back to Dalaran to turn in research quests and such, I'll transmog, and then it lasts for 10 minutes because you're just picking up gear. Finish quest,
so
pick up
fast.
Gear. Yeah, super fast, and especially because I'm slamming dungeons.
Yeah,
and slamming raids.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a good time. It's you have done a better job holding off playing your retail character than I have. Admittedly, I was really feeling it. I was really missing roleplay. I was really missing just being on my main. I scratched a little bit of the PvP itch. I definitely took a day where I went back and just kind of did all the things I wanted to do on my retail characters, and so today, actually, as of this recording, hopped back in on Legion and was pushing more content. But yeah, I'm definitely missing retail. Remix is fun, but I'm definitely missing my retail character. And I have found through Remix that it has reminded me why I read all the quest text, why I love the lore. Because when you are not doing that thing and you're just burning through it, to get whatever you need to get while the event's going on, transmogs and all that stuff, not having that connection point, it's just like I don't know how people do it. Like I feel as though I'm nowhere near as connected to a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I felt like I was a bit behind right off the bat because again, I rolled another druid and I was taking my druid through the class hall story. And so I started in Balshra and I was doing that, and I was reading the quest text, and I started off just like, okay, I want to see this story again. And then I realized that it's not super feasible if you want to kind of keep up. Yeah. So about halfway through, I would say, I stopped reading a lot of quest text, and especially because if we're in a channel with friends or something, it's so hard. Like I have to, just like you, if I'm diving into lore, which I do pretty frequently, I turn the music up, I turn the ambience up. I'm not in channel, and I just concentrate on the story and just, living my character's life in Azeroth. And I completely realize how dorky that sounds, and I've accepted this. So, but that's at times, that's how I like to enjoy the game. There's times where I want to just kind of play by myself and just cruise. And even like today, I was playing and I got 2 Discord calls and I'm like, nope, not right now. I just wanted to play and zone out and just enjoy my character. So Legion makes it a little tough to do that. The remix does, because it's just everything is moving so quickly, and I'm just trying to slam dungeons, slam raids, and slam quests, and just move on as quick as I can, because we only have like 95 days left of remix.
And you know what? Only. And honestly, Housing's going to be releasing before remix is over with. So you're going to see a sharp drop off, I imagine, at some point when Housing releases. Yeah, I would imagine. As soon as people have a couple characters in and they've gotten all the transmog they want, like I'm not going to 100% remix because there's stuff that I just don't want. Mm-hmm. I'll probably just grab everything I want. I might roll a second character just to dabble and just to level one up. But, come this weekend for us, actually be before the release of our show, there's something coming up that is very near and dear to my heart every year. Oh, yeah. And it starts, the Saturday before the show launches, which is Hallow's End. And I am currently staring at the completionism right now for it. I've got some work to do, but I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, me too. And gosh, and you and I are both the same. Like we both love Hallow's End, and we both love the Christmas event. Great Father, was it Winter, or I forget the exact. Great Father Winter. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And I love being there on the day when the tree gives all the gifts and everyone is around the tree. Oh, I love it, man. It's funny because I was telling my wife the story about that the other day, and the hilarious part is that I could tell in her face she could have given 2 shits about the story I was talking about, dude. But I'm telling her a story about the abominable snowman and how one of the reindeer are missing, and I don't even know how we got in. I think it was just talking about. You're brave telling her all that. I know, I'm dumb. I think I was just excited because the holidays are here. Yeah. And that is my favorite time in my real life, and it's my favorite time in gaming. Oh, yeah. So. Hey, by the way, to those of you who are subbed for 12 months, the new mount rewards are out. We got the Astral Auroch, a.k.a. Space Bull, and the Grandiose Gurlock, which is a Murloc that's juiced to the gills, and it's actually pretty awesome. I didn't realize how big he was, and I got him out, and I was in the middle of Stormwind, and I'm literally smack dab in the middle of all the RPers with my character, and he just, when you summon him, he like steps away from you so you can jump up on him or something. And he's just huge. He's like, and there's RPers all around me. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yep, Murgle. He's awesome. Is this a reskin?
I think so.
Of last year's?
Yeah.
Because I already have the one from last year, which is a little bit of a bummer, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing the annual subscription, which I have for probably 3 years now.
Yeah.
They should change that up.
I mean, I think it'd be cool if they did. Granted, this is my first year-long subscription I've ever done. Just this year. Actually started like last month, and so for me, like it was. This is all new, so like I'm okay with it. But I totally could see why you'd say that. Like I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is coming from a guy that had a second account just to get the buddy rewards, because it was like it's one of the coolest backpacks in the game, I think. The thing that you got, it was 2 years ago, the buddy pack.
Yeah.
So I maintained a second subscription for that, and it was 100% worth it to get those rewards.
That's when you know you're a no-lifer. Like, I've heard all kinds of comments about the mount, the $99 Brontosaurus mount that you could buy that has the auction house on it. And you know what? I've thought about that, and I sat on it for all this time, and now I'm thinking, I'm like, if that sucker ever comes back, I'm buying that mount.
Yeah.
I want that.
Totally. And it's hard to justify $100. I mean, that is 100% a cash grab. So for a lot of people, it was a principle.
Sure.
It was just the principle of the thing. Like they know that people are going to want this mount, and they know that they're going to get some of the people. So let's just mark it up. And now I see it around town. I'm just like, oh, I should have mowed more lawns. It's just a side job mowing lawns just to get them out.
Yeah. I wish that mount was half the price, but anyway, that's a story for another time. But anyway, folks, welcome again to the show. This week on the episode, we have the Heroes Calls returning. We've also got all kinds of other goodies going on with the news, and then of course S.N.A.R.K makes its return. But before we get there, folks, we're gonna have a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Have you ever trimmed a tree branch only to have it scream back at you? Hey, that was my arm. At Darnassus Tree Service, we know the difference between a tree that needs pruning and a tree that's going to punch you for trying. Our certified arborists, trained in both horticulture and diplomacy, will carefully inspect your property for overgrown trees, corrupted roots, or ancient beings of a wrathful nature.
Boss, I think this oak just blinked at me.
That's why we send only the best. Each of our team members carries the official Darnasian Tree Whisperer certification, ensuring clear communication between you and your leafy neighbors. So whether you need a branch trimmed, a stump removed, or an angry treant convinced to move 2 feet to the left, call Darnassus Tree Service. Because not every tree needs cutting. Some just need a little respect. Finally, someone gets it.
Hi, my name is Karosh, and when I'm not purposefully giving my healer a heart attack for playing Blood Decay, I'm listening to Azeroth Morning Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is time for the Heroes Call.
Heroes Call!
Friends, this week we are doing something a little bit new. We haven't really talked too well. We've talked a little bit about Facebook, but we are going to go to basically a question that there was on a Facebook group that we are part of. And this particular one is just titled, this Facebook group is titled World of Warcraft. There's about 107,000 members in there. So just a few, but it's a pretty poppin' place. There's always, all kinds of posts and stuff happening every single day. But this one caught my eye, and it was a question from a gentleman named Mason Trujillo. where he asked a question about there being an add-on for Legion Remix to track purchases like the one that they had in the Mists of Pandaria remix. And this, I put an answer in there for him because although, you know, this person was looking for something specific to track purchases, it reminded me of a couple of things. The first one was an add-on called All the Things. And I looked that one up just to get the description for you guys, because this one is actually very, very helpful. And the description reads, do you find yourself completing old content just so that you can literally get everything for your collections? Say no more. All the Things will help you with your endeavor by giving you the ability to track the completion for everything. And it tracks things like achievements, quests, different appearances, mounts, pets, toys, titles. And then it's got, you know, everything's like resizable, which is really cool. It's got an auto mini list for you, so you can have it right there on your screen. And then it doesn't mess with Blizzard's API, so it's going to survive the cut, it looks like. So anyway, that's All the Things add-on. And we're going to talk more about add-ons here in a little while, but this one is super helpful. The other thing Mason's question reminded me about was something that I recently learned about on YouTube and then actually went and joined it to have myself another tool just on a side screen while I'm playing. And this one, a lot of people probably know about this. Some people probably don't know about this, but it's pretty fantastic. It's called completionism.com. And this is basically a tracker for every expansion. I think it works with Classic as well, but it syncs up with your Battle.net account, and it will track all kinds of things for you. And there is a tab for Legion Remix, so you can basically figure out all the things that you've done, all the achievements that you've achieved. And the one that I'm looking at right now is the one for Hallow's End. And again, I was saying, like, I have a little bit more work to do, but you know, it tracks, like, for Hallow's End specifically, like tricks and treats for Eastern Kingdom, tricks and treats for Kalimdor, Outland, all of Azeroth. And then it's got pet stuff for the event, and basically all the achievements. Like, it's all there. All the quests for the event are all there, and it gives you a big red X or a green check mark if you've finished those things on your character. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there for the Heroes Call board on this one. There was a lot of people that had some really good answers in there for Mason. And again, it's all part of what the Heroes Call board is for us. And that's just highlighting what the community's doing out there, and, you know, questions like this, cool things that they're doing, and little tips and tricks so we can help you be a better player.
It's such a cool website. Like, before the show, I was sitting here just looking through everything for Hallow's End. And lo and behold, there's the one thing I've been looking for all year. I kid you not, all year. And that is the Prowler's Faded headgear, the black headpiece and the shoulders. I didn't realize that was a part of Hallow's End.
Ooh, I found it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to be jumping in that. I'm definitely hooking my account. It's stuff like this that makes me appreciate the Warcraft community. And like, when you create within the Warcraft community, you have so many tools at your disposal that have been created from the community itself, whether it's websites or guilds or, you know, something else, spreadsheet after spreadsheet. You know, if depending on what you're in, you know, a lot of role players have menus that they make for their thing. Like, you have so many fun things that you can do, and it's all within, you know, around the world we all love, and that's Azeroth, man. And just like, gosh, I love people.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a huge community, right? So there's always somebody out there that has the technical knowledge to put tools and stuff like this in. There's people that do spreadsheets, and there's people that take it a step further, and they'll do databases and stuff like this for you. I mean, look at how like Wowhead started, right? Yeah. One last thing I want to hit: if Hallow's End is your thing, one more little add-on that I'm going to talk about here is called Candy Buckets. And Candy Buckets is available on CurseForge, and basically it will tell you, it's just an easy way to track the candy buckets that are across the world. But it also works for the Lunar Festival and Midsummer Fire Festival. as well. So anyway, candy buckets. Do it.
I forgot all about that add-on. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I got to reinstall that. Do you have it installed already?
I keep it all year.
Do you? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to remind me that at any one time throughout the year, Hallow's End is always coming.
Guess what add-on I got rid of this past week?
DBM?
I got rid of DBM. I'm preparing myself.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it, but it's going to get interesting.
I just want to say this real quick. I did one dungeon without it. It was really quiet and peaceful. I didn't have things yelling at me or anything. I'm just like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. That's GTFO. You think that someone's launching a nuclear strike on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
oh, I'm standing in the wrong spot. Damn. No wonder my feet are all tingly.
Oh, gosh, that's right. So anyway, yeah, folks, again, you can always email us or tweet at us, or not tweet at us, hit us up on Facebook or something else entirely. If you see something that's awesome that's going on, maybe, there's something that's upcoming within the community itself, something we can highlight here on the show, we absolutely will. So that said, it's time for the news.
Breaking news. Brought to all of yous by the Goblin News Network.
So, the news this week. Now, one thing I was really hoping that we'd have, but we didn't have at the time of the recording, basically because when we had to record this week, was that we don't have an updated Hallow's End article from Warcraft. However, we've already kind of talked about Hallow's End all the way up to this, but, it's just one of those special events that comes to Azeroth. And, that's probably like a whole nother discussion for another day, like the importance of events and the impact of events within an MMO. Being that we've experienced so many different ones, like the one from Guild Wars 2, their Halloween version, that was crazy. There's also stuff in, I think it's SWTOR has stuff as well. ESO definitely does. But, anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to Hallow's End.
Yeah, and that's something that we really enjoy. We like to cover stuff like that. So probably at some point we're gonna cover holidays,
yeah,
and events, because they are. Warcraft is just packed with events and holiday stuff. So
yeah,
a good topic.
I don't know if it's the release cadence, like for this expansion that they've had, the every few weeks. I forget the number, and I know people are yelling it as they listen. I'm sorry, but how many weeks it is in between patches, like major patches? That release cadence is
8.
Is it 8? Okay.
8 weeks?
8 weeks, yeah. So with that 8-week release cadence combined with the events that happen within the game, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but sometimes I feel like I'm just barely keeping up. Like I am just barely able to keep my head above water with everything that's going on.
Yeah, it can certainly feel that way, and I'll tell you what, that's a good problem to have.
Oh yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, it is a good problem to have. There's always new stuff coming out, whether it's a holiday event or something. But, like for us, if there's a holiday event that we have interest in, we will damn near stop everything else to dive into those holiday events.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely do for Thanksgiving, Easter, Halloween, and Christmas events. For all of those, I will full pull.
Yeah.
Until I'm done.
Yeah. You know what we should do this year to celebrate the new year for 2026? I don't know how we could do it. I wonder if we could get everyone to, I'm doing this live, sorry. This is probably more an off-air conversation. We should get everybody together to celebrate the fireworks, the New Year fireworks that they do. I've never seen them.
Festival?
Yeah. Well, the December 31st or January 1st, they do them like leading up to that. I think it's every hour. We should get a group of people together and watch them.
Cool. And do what? Just light them off ourselves?
Maybe?
Yeah, he hates it.
Dumb idea. It's a dumb idea. Fine, he hates it. All right.
I have an ambulance card on standby to take all the amputees to the Stormwind ER. Everybody lighting off sparklers in their hand, and then BAM! Your life's changed forever, friends.
Your life's changed forever. I love those X-rays. You see that?
Yeah, I've seen them live.
Oh yeah,
in front of my face.
Yeah, that you have.
It's no fun.
No fun. But anyway, folks, all right, so the article here today, this is from worldofwarcraft.com. So Midnight Prologue, quote unquote, the warning content update, and housing early access. So there was an update to all of this leading up to this article, and that was that housing PTR testing has been delayed due to some unforeseen issues that Blizzard was having. However, for the article, we can set the stage. So with the Ghost of Karesh storyline concluded, they say here, the warning update bridges the War Within and the upcoming Midnight expansion. So Azeroth is now facing ominous visions of Xal'atath and the ever-advancing Void, and players are being, quote, welcomed home with one of WoW's most requested features, player housing. So as the campaign continues, we know that there is a new threat, and Varisa Windrunner is plagued with visions foretelling the fall of Quel'Thalas. Players will continue the War Within campaign to uncover this prophecy's dark meaning and its ties to the Void. This update sets up key story threads that will continue into Midnight. You know, we weren't here. We weren't here. I mean, we were there, but we weren't live with the show when Midnight was announced at Gamescom. And one of the things that, and this is a kind of a random thought, but one of the themes that we see a lot in Midnight is hope. You see that a lot from the vibes that you get from that cinematic. I don't know about you, dude, but when all those the paladins showed up, I kind of teared up a little bit, man. Like that was a moment. And I'm not even a Blood Elf like fan. Like I don't have a class with that at all. I never have been. I appreciate the lore, but I've never really been super Blood Elfy. But that was a moment, dude. That was a moment, man.
Hang on. Hang on.
What?
You've never been super Blood Elfy?
No. What?
Is that a thing?
Well, you called me RPs last week, so why can't this be a thing?
Well, it's because you enjoy the RPs.
See, you make it sound like a disease every time. That's what I couldn't say last time there. Every time you say that, I feel like it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have approached yellow flag territory.
It is a form of a disease.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's a cool disease. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you on this. I didn't tear up, but I would imagine that if it had been a story revolving around the Kaldari and the Druids, and it was as impactful as the Midnight teaser was, I probably would have teared up too.
Well, like you see Lady Liadrin, and she's just there praying and praying and praying, and now the gates are basically being beat down, and you have him out, and I forget, oh, this is bad. I forget, I'm having a moment. I'm forgetting the name of the main Blood Elf that's out there. But anyway, he's just fighting to hold the line, and she's praying and praying and praying and praying, and then at the last moment, a hand reaches out. It's just like a moment, and I can't wait. And so like the whole vibe, the whole theme around, at least so far, what we've seen, yes, we have a bunch of threats we're going to deal with, but is hope.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I see what you're getting at. And you know, games have a really good way of explaining and paralleling. That's probably a better term to use. They have a really good way of paralleling main themes that are going on in a game with things that are going on in either real life or your own life. It hits people differently. So it doesn't matter if, you know, you're facing ominous visions of Xal'atath and hope is what you reach for, or if you're experiencing some gnarly trial in your life and the video game that you're playing reminds you that hope is what you reach for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mean for that to sound corny on
it's true,
a funny, quirky show, but it does draw a lot of parallels, and it can bring things home that are, you know, can be emotional for people. So
absolutely,
they do a great job with their cinematics. Like there's no doubt. Dude, I've been eyeing this 4-hour video on YouTube that is all of the World of Warcraft cinematics and lore together. And I'm like, I want to do it, but it's like, it's terrifying. It's like watching the extendo version of Lord of the Rings.
I'm doing a heartbeat.
Yeah. Dude, how awesome though.
Oh yeah.
You know, to see the evolution of Warcraft cinematics.
Absolutely.
Since the beginning. You know, the one that still gets me?
What's that?
Is the one from Classic in 2004 where you see the dwarf in Ironforge in the mountains of Ironforge, and he's using he's got his rifle, and he's coming over the rise, and his bear's with him.
Yeah,
that one for some reason just gets me. I would love to see them recreate that in 4K. It would be so amazing. But for some reason, that one just gets me.
Yeah,
it's so nostalgic.
You know, if and when. I imagine it will, but a heroic tier, so like the system in Remix that increases the difficulty. If and when that comes to retail, and we're actually able to go back and do all the old things and really make it feel like a challenge, right? And just really take in all the lore that we've all loved for so long, I would absolutely do all that in order with those cinematics. And speaking of, just off the top of the head, I'm sorry, but there's an add-on called Lore Library. I downloaded the other day. You can watch the cinematics from in-game and read all the free comics that Blizzard put out from in the game.
On an add-on?
On an add-on. It's called Lore Library. Look it up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I'm making a note on my Palm Pilot.
On my on my BlackBerry. Let me write on. Anyway, so we've also got housing early access. This is going to be arriving. So players who've added Midnight to their account can now enter the early access with a suite of initial features. This includes decor, collection and room customization, room layouts and neighborhoods. This includes guild and charter neighborhoods as well.
Ooh, flying within neighborhoods.
Yeah, so flying within neighborhoods. You've got legacy and profession-based rewards. Yeah, dude, I didn't know we were going to be able to fly in neighborhoods.
I did not know that either, and now I'm that makes me very happy. That is really neat.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome for our guild though, to be in with everybody in the massive neighborhood. Think of all the festivities.
There has been a lot of really good videos that have come out. I watched one on YouTube the other night from Soul Breezy, and he was doing a lot of the testing for housing.
Oh, really?
And they started allowing not just the inside of your house to be, that system to be tested, but they started letting the outside of your house be tested. And he was kind of showing like the lot lines and like, this is how much space you have, and kind of showing the ticket system that they have, for only have so many things that you can put on your property because of render issues and such. But it was really neat to see how many options you have to move things around, where you want to place things, and even like small features like lighting and how you want a dormer type window to look. And you could have just all kinds of just drop downs for every little detail of the exterior of your house as well. And then of course it's the same on the inside, but it just looks like a really good, fun system that people are going to sink tons of hours into, at least until they get the missive that they need to go to Quel'Thalas, because there's some stuff going down in Quel'Thalas.
Yeah, dude, housing is, and we've said it before, we probably sound like broken records at this point here, but if they've stuck around for any point in time with us, but it's going to be such a monumental thing for this game. It's just going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Housing is such a staple thing, because it's like the one time when players feel like, granted we had garrisons, and I honestly, rewind 10 years, I think it was over 10 years now. Back then I did enjoy the garrison. I loved it. It was fun. I think we were playing on the Horde at the time, and I loved it. I still adore that area to this day. However, it's not housing. And whenever you give players a home, they actually feel like, oh, I have a place in this world now. Like, look at ESO, dude. We spent 2 years there creating, and everyone was all about their houses. People making mazes, all the crazy things they would do.
Yes, and amazing things that they were able to build in ESO. And the one thing that I will say, I hope it doesn't get too crazy with the types of houses that you're able to buy, because to me in Warcraft, I want maybe like small, medium, large. Okay. But I don't want the large house to be like a massive manor. It's just huge, so big that it doesn't really fit. You know what I mean? I don't know if it sounds nuts, and there's probably people out there that are like, dude, shut up. I want the biggest house on the biggest lot that I can get. It feels like my World of Warcraft house should be in a quaint place that is, in or near one of the capital cities, where it's not going to be too massive and too gaudy. And it looks like that's where it is now. But like, in five years, who knows what the housing system is going to look like, if there's going to be larger homes and stuff available. And I just feel like what we're getting right now is exactly what I wanted to see.
It's perfect.
Nothing's too big. It's just big enough for you to put your personality in there and, add a little wing on here, a little wing on there onto your home. But it's not so god awfully huge that it's not, and I'm not trying to disparage ESO at all, because their housing system's really fun. But it's not some gigantic elven manor.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Like for me, like I'm kind of the same way. Like, honestly, I personally feel it more at home when we were in New World and you got that starter home and it had the one room. I almost felt more at home with that than when I actually was able to upgrade and get a home that had multiple rooms. Like, I genuinely love kind of smaller homes and MMOs, but I get what you're saying. I almost wonder, so playing off that, what if they saved those kinds of things for the guilds, the guild housing?
Oh yeah, that's a different story. Guild housing would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be a place where, every trophy, or at least the more difficult trophies to get that your guild has succeeded with, like those things would be displayed. Have maybe a war room, just super cool stuff. A meeting room. That would be absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
To see.
Absolutely.
I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
With housing specifically, where are you going to do your house, and what motif are you going to go with?
Well, of what's available, which I know human's one of the ones that is available at the start. If Kultiran was available, 1000% Kultiran immediately, no question. I'm going there, but I know it's not available at the start, so it's going to be human. And as far as where it's going to be located at, let's see, that's interesting, because there was a Reddit post where they 3D modeled the whole area for the Alliance, their home area, their housing. And you have all these kinds of different zones really within this one area, this big map. I have to see it to really give you that answer, but I definitely want something that is not far away from people. Like, I really, like, when we saw the trailer and you saw the people walking around the neighborhood, I want that. I want to be able to commune with the guild and, seeing your character running around and just be in the world, because this is like, I've been away from people already with a garrison. And now I know I definitely want to be with everybody. Like, this is it's like a monumental event. Like, I want to experience it with everybody. What about you?
Well, what kind of motif are you going to go for? Like decorations in your house?
Oh, I thought everything Kultiran, as much as possible.
I love it.
1000%, no question. That's my RP character is a Kultiran. I love Borealis. I tell you, dude, that is, I love that. That is the cream of the crop to me in World of Warcraft is Borealis. And I go there often just to listen to the music. I tear up. I still do when I'm there, because it's just like, my goodness, those feels are something else. And
you are emotional today.
I am. Well, maybe I'm just being more transparent than I normally am. But yeah, dude, like Storm Song Valley, like you go over there. This is totally different. I mean, you go there and you listen, and it's just, gosh, man, like the craziness of real life, and then you can finally slow down and take in the world and just love it. Oh, it just sucker punches you in the feels. But yeah, so Kultiran. I know what you're going to say, but go ahead. Tell everybody what you
I love. No, No, that's fine. I mean, if you're going to pick my brain, then, why don't you just tell the people what I'm going to do?
All right, Knife Ears. You're going to go Night Elf.
I'm actually going to go Elwynn Forest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're definitely going to get the feel, because I play Night Elf and I love my Night Elf. And even though the Harnier is really cool looking, I'm not changing. My Druid is going to remain Kaldrai. But as much as I love Darnassus and all of those areas where my character grew up, basically, as a fledgling, I think I'm going to be in the Elwynn Forest area. Now, you'll definitely know that it's a Night Elf's home. But yeah, I want to do a lot of nature stuff. So I kind of want to be far off the beaten path a little bit. Maybe one of those like end lots or corner lots where you don't have a neighbor right next to you. And maybe that's just because I live in Southern California and I'm tired of my neighbors, from a upstairs bedroom being able to look down into my damn kitchen.
You don't want me to be right next to your home looking in?
Don't want that anymore. I don't want to live on a cul-de-sac. I want to live on a little larger lot away from the peoples.
Yeah.
And go with the nature theme, I think, for me. And definitely want to have an alchemy room. There needs to be a lab in there for my alchemist.
Dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I've been trying to like max out all the professions, my alchemy and herbalism professions and other expansions, because I want as much stuff as possible to be open to me for housing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, that's kind of why I really love the aesthetic of Elwynn. I just think it's gorgeous.
It really is. And it's, do you know, I already said this once on an episode, but the Elwynn Forest track is one of the most popular World of Warcraft tracks that's played on Spotify of all time.
Oh yeah. The feels.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And you know what? I honestly wonder if that's part of the reason that people may not realize it, but one of the reasons that they like creating a brand new tune in Elwynn Forest.
Like very much why I like leveling.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yep. Agreed. And do we know all the motifs? What the motifs are at launch? I don't off the top of my head, admittedly.
You know what? I kind of locked in on the Elwynn Forest one, but let's see if we can figure it out.
Okay. Well, while you're looking at that, I'll keep going through the rest of this. So returning players are going to get a quest line to guide them into housing. New players are going to unlock housing at the end of the tutorial boat experience, which I can't wait to try the new tutorial. I want to know what that is all about. That'll definitely be a part of Midnight. Now, players without Midnight can still visit neighborhoods and collect decor, but can't own homes yet. I will say this. I don't know if it's because we've seen it done before in other MMOs, especially like most recently with us, it was New World, like that their zone was gated by, or the mounts, I'm sorry, the mounts were gated by their new expansion. But it doesn't really bother me as much when I see it here. Like you can't own a home if you don't own the expansion. I love the fact, though, that at least people can get decor if they want to. Like, that's great.
Yeah, you can stock up on decor, and then when you're ready, you can pick up the expansion, and away you go. I think that's pretty standard.
I feel like it is now.
In games.
Yeah, I feel like it is. Do you find the motifs?
I did.
Ooh, what we got?
This is a blue post directly from Blizzard. We've seen a lot of discussion and speculation from the community on where players will be able to have houses. We decided early on that there would be 2 housing zones available at launch, one for Alliance and one for Horde, with more possible places to live in the future. The Alliance zone takes inspiration from Elwynn Forest with touches of Westfall and Duskwood. The Hordes is inspired by Durotar, its coastline, and Azshara. There are 2 main reasons for this decision, and they go into why they did it. Mainly, zones are a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, it's a really good start. It's an iconic start for players who either love your Alliance or you love your Horde. It's very iconic where they're starting this stuff off. So 0 complaints from me.
Yeah, agreed. Admittedly, when you said motif, I thought you were talking about like decoration style. So that's why I said Culturian, but
yeah. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely for location of house based off that, it's definitely going to be Elwynn Forest. Elwynn Forest or close to Duskwood maybe. But I love that trailer, dude. And you kind of see a cul-de-sac of just people, like everyone's homes. Just like, yeah, Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, I just got the best idea.
What's that? You gonna live next to each other? Have bunk beds?
No, I'm not doing that.
No?
So many activities!
No, I don't want to look into your living room and see you in there dancing around in your boxers.
Why? Everyone does it.
Why? I'm out. No, here's my idea. If there's touches of duskwood in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
I might go for like a darker foresty house and do like a Halloween motif.
Ooh.
Spooky.
I could see you being on the border.
Spooky.
So that way you get both. I could see you being on the border.
How fun is it going to be to decorate your house though, dude? And you know there's going to be decorations for Christmas and wreaths and trees and lights and jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait. And you know what? That was part of the reason the other day while I was looking. So off air, folks, I was thinking a lot about cozy games, you know, like the quote unquote cozy style of game. So like Stardew Valley, that sort of thing, where it's really not combat oriented, but it's like experience oriented. Palia is a perfect example of that as well. It's something that's newer. And I'm like, I wonder if you can play World of Warcraft like that, you know? And so, of course, ChatGPT did its thing. And of course you could, no brainer. But I'm just like, how many people, I know I will, how many people is like their whole routine of WoW is going to be completely just flipped upside down because of housing's release?
Yeah. See you later progression.
Right?
Yep. I'm going to be in my flip-flops and my freaking boardies, dude. Just on my lawn.
Oh,
smoking a cigar.
I love it.
Watching my grass grow.
Watching my grass grow. Watching
They're gonna be like, hey man, do you want to come heal a plus 10? Nope. What I want to do is take another sip here of this whiskey, just hang out and watch that flower right there grow.
Oh, I love it so much. So anyway, housing, of course, player experience is overhauled. So the new players are getting an updated, smoother, clearer start to WoW, which is great. Returning player experience as well as seeing adjustments. The lore walking, the Elves of Quel'Tha Loss. You're going to be getting a brand new lore walking chapter with Lore Walker Cho, where he's going to take you through the history of the Blood Elves and the Void Elves. And I tell you, I'm looking forward to that. I've had many Void Elves. Yeah, to be able to see the Scourge attack on Silvermoon, the Sunwell's corruption, Alaria Windrunner's role in the Void Elves creation. Like, it's so...
Where we a Windrunner?
Where we Windrunner? You heard that?
Yeah, that's where you went with the Windrunner. Where we a Windrunner?
Do they both not sound like two simple peons whenever they... Oh, we're clicked in. You guys are doing great.
Anyway, Pandarens are finally getting heritage armor and the Tor, you know, last episode when I was editing that episode. And it got to the part where you couldn't talk. I couldn't help but to sit there and laugh. And now here it is, full circle. So anyway, Tor, oh, I am you in episode 3. Tor, Tor, the turbulent time ways. Seriously, say that 10 times fast. A 10-week limited event from the Bronze Dragonflight. So this includes 6 Shadowlands dungeons this time. I can't wait for that. Entering the time walking rotation for the first time. It's going to have brand new rewards, achievements, and collectibles. And then finally, folks, the Brawlers Guild is returning. So, Brawlgar Arena, that's in Orgrimmar, or Bismo's Brawl Pub, which is in Stormwind. There's going to be new and returning bosses, refreshed rotations, and new achievements. So rewards include housing decor, a recolored flying mount, and Bruce, aka the crocodile mount from in a new variant. And that's your news, brought to you by the Goblin News Network.
You know, admittedly, I've never done the Brawlers Guild. I've never done that event. And right before we started the show, Jibbs said, log in to your retail character. So I did. And he said, meet me in Stormwind. And then what happened?
I took you down to the tram, the Deep Run tram. The other day I was in there just like sightseeing. And I realized there's stairs that went down further into the tram, like at the under where the trams actually run. And lo and behold, there's the Brawlers Guild. And I've never been able to be a part of it. I've only ever heard about it. Didn't know it was there. But anyway, we went to Bismo's, man.
That is such a joy of this game, knowing that like for myself, have played the game for over 20 years. And there's still things, and regardless of whether or not there are events that I've like ignored or just, didn't do or didn't take part in, we're still discovering things about this game to this day.
I know.
It's so massive. And then you're talking about playing the game like Stardew Valley, or there's so many different ways to play this game.
Oh, yeah.
And then you discover something like that. One of my favorite things to do, and I think I've talked about this before. Maybe it was episode 1, or maybe I'm just dumb and I didn't talk about it, which is completely an option with what I'm about to say. There was a podcast years ago, probably 10 years ago, and it was called The Road Less Traveled.
Yes.
And they were 5-minute stories about World of Warcraft. And they basically detailed small little stories that came out in quests, in Easter eggs that are in the game. Maybe there's some obscure Easter egg that you didn't know what it was about. And this gentleman would have one topic a show, and it'd be like 5 minutes long. And he would tell you the story of where this came from. And like one of the ones he did was a story of a turtle, and it's out there. And I would be running around in the world, and you see this turtle, and it's a strange name, and you think whatever. But there's so many things in this game that are built off of real life parallels, a story that really happened in real life, a player that made an impact on the community and maybe passed away. And there's these tributes in the game, pop culture things where there's stars in there, like everybody knows Harris Pilton, and then the references to Robin Williams that are in the game. There's just so much personality in World of Warcraft, and I tried reaching out to that guy years ago, and he was just done, and never ended up getting back to me, but I would have loved to have talked to him about that, because it was such a cool premise for just a short little, periodic show where he'd just do 5 minutes and you would learn something about the game that you had no idea about. It was the coolest freaking thing.
I love stuff like that. I wouldn't be shocked at some point. We're known for lore from our other shows, so I'm wondering if at some point we don't step into that ring. But I mean, like, to see stuff like that, that's why I love this community. I do, because there's something for everybody, not only in the game, but in the community. So, yeah.
Right. We do love to tell stories.
We do love a good story.
S.N.A.R.K Online.
Oh. I'm not even going to say it.
Smells like...
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
Not even going to say it.
Rich mahogany.
Smells like a baby diaper filled with Indian food.
It's really potent.
You're leaving that in.
Oh.
Not allowed to take that out. Oh. We really do need an After Dark show at some point.
I was thinking this. Our first live shows are late night shows. Instead of morning radio, it's late night. We're doing it live and they're after dark.
Ooh, can I say the F word?
Don't ask me. You're a grown man.
Well, a lot of times when I'm trying to get out of something very poignant, I'm sitting here and the mic just going, I say the F word so bad. But it's a family-friendly show, so I don't. No, it would be. And actually, it's just kind of letting it out of the bag. We've kind of planned on having an After Dark show as, once we
need to at some point.
When we move on over to Twitch.
Yeah.
Or a periodic episode.
Yeah.
It will probably be an After Dark show.
Definitely.
So we have personalities above and beyond just being good choir boys, friends. We really do. So there's that.
I always tell people this isn't a family-friendly show, but it's a show for people our age.
It is. And you all cuss. We've heard it.
You know who you are.
Anyway, We have a ticket here that came out of S.N.A.R.K, and looks like this week we are covering Addon Alley. Step right up adventures. Today's snake oil is tomorrow's must-have add-on. So we figured, actually S.N.A.R.K figured, since it's such a hot topic lately, we're going to have a little discussion about World of Warcraft add-ons. But before we do that, Jibbs, cue the music. In memoriam, friends, for some very, very, very beloved add-ons that are going away in the form of WeakAuras, deadly boss mods, and details, and basically anything that touches combat API in the back end of World of Warcraft is going away.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die. It's going away. It's happening. You're just gonna have to accept it. So, anyway, let's fire this up, buddy.
Okay.
What is your opinion? Ooh, I sense a hot take. What is your opinion on the future and the changes that are being made to add-ons in World of Warcraft?
I love it. I love when an MMO can stand on its own without the need of add-ons. You know, Ian made a statement the other day about the difficulty of Warcraft, and I wish I had it on hand. I could read it to you, but basically that Warcraft without add-ons may be too hard or something that effect. I'm a firm believer. Like I'm much more of a vanilla person, honestly. I love being able to experience an MMO and all its difficulties. Everything of, like everything that it was created to be, and not have add-ons jump in the middle of that. And so for me personally, I love that this is going away. I genuinely do. I'm excited to see what it does for the game, both PvE and PvP. And honestly, I really am for it. I really am. Not really a hot take, kind of like a mediocre, maybe slightly spicy, depending on, I wasn't really too hot. I could have made a little more anger in there maybe, but all right.
No, I mean, I just don't like your opinion. I thought that was dumb. That was wrong. Off base.
That's wrong again.
No, I can't lie. It has always been a thing for us when we've played games to want features that should be native to the game to be native to the game. And we've been a big fan of that for a long time in playing MMOs. And we know that we're not, maybe we're in the minority there. Maybe there's a lot of people that really think that add-ons should be a community-driven thing. And, adding little things to the game that enhance your gameplay should come from the community. And that's fine. Like it's completely fine. We're not looking to go, too far to one side. But I just think that when a game sees that there's add-ons out there that are affecting combat and affecting the success of people, and maybe perhaps going away from the design intention of the game, that they need to make some changes. And I think it's a very positive thing to see Blizzard going in that direction. But the other question is it a little bit too late? Like, have we already established the lines here and now they're changing things drastically? And I'm still kind of up in the air about it, to be honest with you, because the removal of things like WeakAuras, although WeakAuras is being replaced, they're working on it. It's getting better. The cooldown manager is getting better. But things like deadly boss mods and potentially not being able to see details. Have you heard anything about them replacing DPS meters or healing meters?
Oh, yeah.
With native things?
Yeah, they're going to have their own.
Okay. So now, if those things were being completely removed, that's a major change for a game. And I'll bring up a game like Ashes of Creation, which we covered for a couple of years. Ashes of Creation is an MMO in development, and they have a hard stance on no DPS meters. Now, gamers being gamers will find a way to measure DPS.
Oh, yeah.
They will just figure it out offline.
Yep.
So, but the fact that with these add-ons that are being removed from World of Warcraft, they're going to be replaced with native, I guess you can't really call them add-ons, but native tools in the game that are going to provide some of the same things. Okay. If there was not a replacement for something like Deadly Boss mods or GTFO, it is going to change the game drastically for many, many players that play. You know, if you're a Dungeoneer, if you're a Raider, it's going to change things drastically. If you're fighting a world boss, if you're fighting any boss, things like that would completely change the game if there was not some type of a tool for those things to happen in the game. Now, whether or not you use those tools, it's going to be a toggle. You're going to turn it on, you're going to turn it off. I like what you did, Jibbs, that you dumped Deadly Boss mods to just see how it feels, right?
Yeah.
It's that's going to be a big, big change. And I honestly, at this point, you know, you come to rely on those tools when you're running higher keys.
Yeah.
You really do. And it helps me a ton when I get a cue that something's coming in 3, 2, 1, and I'm right in I can prep for it.
Right.
You know, especially with my class, like I can prep for heavy damage that's coming in for my teammates. So I think it's a very interesting time in Warcraft. And the way that I want to answer this question of, you know, what do I think to the changes to the add-ons? I want to support them as much as I possibly can with these changes and know that the end result of what they're trying to do is going to be a positive gameplay experience for everybody. I have an open mind about this whole thing.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like, and there's no wrong answer here, do you feel like WoW is kind of at a crossroads with all of this? Like, this is, and you could be dramatic. Oh, this is WoW's going to fail if we do this. You know, I can already see like that on a thumbnail somewhere. But no, like that's not the case. Like, do you feel as though like this is like you're getting ready to step forward into or choose a street or choose something like we've never experienced before? Like it could change Warcraft significantly.
I feel like their design direction is headed in a direction of bringing as many things in-house as they can to enhance the player experience.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I feel like they're, and at the same time, like it's almost like they're double duty right now with the things that they're doing. Because you're looking at housing, you're looking at the changes to add-ons, you're looking at the changes to combat they're making. And at the same time, they're bringing us new expansions.
It's a massive, massive overall like addition to the game.
Right. So imagine the extra people that they have to have. They're still going to pump out good content, right? From what we can see with Midnight, it looks like it's going to be a pretty kick-ass expansion.
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, they're making all of these, you know, call it QOL, quality of life changes, basic functions to the game are changing. Combat is changing. It seems to me like they have gone back to the drawing board on a lot of these things, and they're changing a lot of them, making strides, taking risks in order to enhance the gameplay experience for everybody as a whole. And, you know, quite frankly, things that they could have done, maybe should have done years ago before people got so reliant on some of these add-ons, but at least they're doing it. They're taking the steps forward to do it and kind of wrangle back control of their game. And, you know, I say this too, because we're on the heels of them shutting down a lot of the private WoW servers that are out there too, and doing it fiercely.
Oh yeah.
Fiercely.
Yeah.
Like Turtle WoW, like Blizzard is not effing around when it comes to some of the stuff. And it seems to me like they're taking control of their IP again. And I think that's a very, very good thing for the future of World of Warcraft.
Smart. I mean, look, it's your IP. You didn't give the rights away. It is what it is, you know? Like,
right.
I don't know what you were expecting. Like it, you know, to come out of that, you know, like people who are running those private servers. But you know, like going back to the add-ons, I really look forward to seeing what the game is like post all these changes. So post combat changes, post, you know, spec updates included with that, and then of course the add-on changes. I really look forward to what that feels like from a PvE standpoint. I look forward to seeing what that feels like from a competitive PvP standpoint. I really believe PvP should be based off skill, not about the UI that you have on your screen that you can see. Oh, I know this is a spicy topic.
I feel a hot take coming.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. It should absolutely be based off skill. It should not be based off having your UI that essentially looks like it's 2 parentheses, bars of the way that's lined out on your screen. I should not know their cooldowns. I should not know how often, you know, whether they've just popped an ability. I should know from skill to see those things, to see those visual cues. I should know when they're popping those things, and when they've popped it, if they break out of stealth, I know roughly there's about a 30-second window. I don't think you should have add-ons for that. I think it truthfully should be based off of skill. I do. And I believe that's the purest form of combat for PvP in MMOs is when it's based off of skill and not off an add-on. Like, we shouldn't have that leverage. We shouldn't. It makes it more competitive. It makes it more fun. And I don't mean to draw a hard line. I really don't. I love everyone. But like, I just feel like that's a sacred thing, you know, because like when you step up to the plate and you go one-on-one with somebody and you beat them and they were your class. I'm going to talk PvP for a hot second, folks. Just a second. When it's your class and you know you've worked your butt off to learn your class, to leverage your class, to build your build the way you wanted to, whether maybe you chose to put more into haste. Maybe you chose to go for a high crit build. Maybe you went high mastery, whatever it is, you have combed through your spec. And then you go 1v1 with somebody and they're your class and you beat them. That is one of the most, especially when it's a great fight, when it's a really good fight, that is one of those moments where you feel like you're on top of the mountain, man. Like, it is awesome.
I told you were a level of 5.
I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really not.
Neckbearder.
I'm really not. I'm really not. You know, back in the day, I used to do a bunch of ganking way back when I was younger and I was playing this game, but I don't do that stuff. But high competitive.
Why? It's so fun.
Oh, dude, I did dirty things like way back in the day. Like, it was Wrath of the Lich King era, and people were over in Burning Crusade. The Horde were leveling, and at the time I was playing Alliance, so I would just levitate down as a priest and then just dot them and kill them instantly. Big fights would ensue because of our shenanigans. Like, I was a jerk off. I was that guy. I'm sorry. I was.
Dude, you don't have to apologize for it.
I feel like I need to apologize to the people. That was so me. But anyway, long tangent short. I'm excited to see the changes. I'm excited to see how it feels, and I look forward to experiencing it.
Yeah. And I know we're pretty positive about it. We know what's out there. We know that there's folks that are really angry about it, and we understand their point too.
Absolutely.
You know, you live with something so long and you get good at playing the game with those tools. It's understandable why people would be upset about what's going on, but we really do. Jibbs and I, we've done it. We've always done it. We've always tried to see the positive in a lot of these, I don't want to say game breaking, very drastic changes that happen to games during their, continuing development cycles.
Right.
So, okay, there's our opinions on what's going on with add-ons. But before we close this session, I wanted to talk a little bit about what our go-to add-ons are. Like, we're not going to go with like our entire CurseForge list, but just a couple that aren't going anywhere, don't have anything really to do with the API or combat, and they are just things that help us to be able to play the game a little bit more effective and are still going to be available. So you go. Jibbs first.
Oh, you want me to go first? You want me to do both or just one, or like, how do you want me to do this?
No, do both of yours and I'll do both of mine.
Okay. So these are 2 add-ons I absolutely can't live without. Once I've had the first one, I'm going to tell you, when you don't have it, it's rough. And that add-on is called Demodal. So what it does essentially is it's a UI add-on. It disables WoW's modal style panel-based like automatic window management for a number of default UI windows. And it allows these windows, once you pop it up, so let's say like your skill window, it allows it to be moved and you can stack it. Like you can stack other, so I can open up my pet journal, and I also can have maybe use the L key and have my quest logs journal up as well. Like it's nothing invasive at all. It just is kind of like UI 2.0 in a little bit, in my opinion. You know, like it's a little bit more of a modern take on being able to have more than one window, UI window open, and you can move it around. It's amazing. The next one, super quick, kind of a no-brainer. You probably won't be shocked, but better wardrobe and transmog. Let me tell you something. You shut your mouth. You have it too. Let me tell you something, brother. It allows you to see mog sets from Wowhead and incomplete sets, and adds more features to the transmog and wardrobe collection system. So when they are going to be putting a set in the game, you see it weeks and sometimes over a patch ahead of time within the transmog, so you'll know something is coming. And it is so good. If you're if your in game is transmog like me in a lot of ways, this is the one for you. Better wardrobe and transmog. Now I will say this, when it comes to updates, they're a little slow on the updates. So like don't be surprised if your add-ons are broken. This one particularly for a while. But overall, great add-on. Great if you're into transmog. And those are my two. Absolutely have to have.
I love it. So I got a couple. One of these is, I'm sure, probably in most of your add-on list, and that's Handy Notes. This just puts a simple framework to show you notes on your map. It shows locations for rare mobs, rewards, treasures, all kinds of different notable locations. And the beauty of this is that it's available for all expansion content. So if you're going to go through an expansion, if you're leveling through an expansion, you can activate it for that particular expansion. If you're not, then it can just be, you know, very, very simple and not in your list and activated, so you don't have that add-on bloat, and you can just deactivate it if you're not using that expansion. But Handy Notes, amazing. They have tons and tons of different things that is in their repertoire. The second one that has very recently become a big deal for me is probably like many of you, you get so much stuff on your screen, and I try to keep it as simply as I can, but for healing, there's things that I need to see and things that I need up. So my screen can get very clogged up, and I could be in the middle of furiously healing a party and lose my mouse cursor. And it sucks to lose your mouse cursor when you need it to be on a heal or on my convoke or on something that I need to pop right now. So the one that I picked up, I was looking for something specifically to make it bigger, and I found Cursor Trail. Cursor Trail is amazing because the way it works is it puts like a built-in cursor trail with different animated models to have glowing trail effects and stuff like that when you move your mouse.
Yeah.
And there are so many different things to choose from to customize it the way that you want it. And of course mine is everything's green because I'm a druid and it's naturey and healy. And now I can find my mouse cursor anywhere I'm at. Doesn't matter. But just wherever it's at on the screen, you just barely move it and you're like, oh, there it is. So particularly if your eyes are getting tired, notice I didn't say old. I said, if your eyes are getting tired, it's a really good one to have. So those are my two.
Dude, so you and I both upgraded our monitors, to the newer ones that we have, and they're the curved monitors. We both have the same one. There has been times, I kid you not, I almost downloaded that add-on. There are times I'm in the game and I'm not even in an intense situation. I'm just walking around freaking Dornagal and I stop. All the players are doing their thing and I sit there and I'm idle, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know where my cursor is. I can't find it. And I know it's on this screen. Even when I move my mouse, I'm not finding it. I almost download that add-on because of that.
Dude, it might seem invasive when you first look at it. You're like, oh, well, no way, that's way too much. You get used to it so quick. And when you do lose it, there's zero question about where it's at.
I may have to download it.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that there's utility stuff like that. You know, that's like utilities. That's a whole nother episode, and we're about done here. But I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode. Anyway, this, folks, was S.N.A.R.K. This was the show. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back to close everything up.
When you're running on empty, you don't settle for rabbit stew. You don't waste time with mystery Murloc meat. You go big. You go bovine. Tauren beef. Packed with more protein than an orc warband and more flavor than a goblin trade deal.
Forget you, maggot!
Tauren beef. More chew, more moo.
Warning, eating Tauren may result in severe hoof prints, angry shamans, and a lifetime ban from Thunderbluff. Azeroth Morning Radio does not endorse cattle rustling, stake theft, or eating Tauren. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us here today on the episode. This was Azeroth Morning Radio. And if you have enjoyed your time with us, let us know how we're doing. That's the biggest thing that really helps us. Number one is reviews. Number two, truthfully, even more important, tell a friend. So if whatever podcast app you are using, if you could take a couple seconds after you listen to this episode, leave us a review. Tell us how we're doing. Give us feedback. What do you guys want from this show? This show is for the community. So we really want to make the show for you. And also, please tell a friend. Tell one friend. You have one Warcraft friend, like, hey, I think you may like this. Send it to them. We certainly would appreciate it. But anyway, folks, we appreciate you. And of course, you can always visit AzerothMorningRadio.com. There you can find everything from more about AMR to full episode transcripts if you want them there. And of course, you can get in contact with us directly if you want to send us a message, whatever you want to do. Kash.
Friends, we want to keep in touch with you. If you have a question or comment, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can hit us on our email at AzerothMorningRadio@gmail.com. On Facebook, Facebook.com/Azeroth Morning Radio. YouTube at YouTube.com/@Azeroth Morning Radio, as my cat absolutely loses his mind in the background. And our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Azeroth Morning Radio. Don't forget to send us your topics for the Heroes Call if you see something really cool, really amazing happening in the community, and we promise to give you credit. One last thing, much love to our guild, Pulling Aggro IRL. If you're looking for a guild with good vibes and low pressure and understanding that life always comes first, you can find them on the Guild Finder in-game.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. Stay awesome. And we'll see you right here next week on AMR. Take care, everybody.
Don't stand there!
Job's done.